Hey divas, welcome to my channel and welcome to Things I Hate, where I talk about random things that I hate. This specific list I've been writing since my last Things I Hate video, which was back in like January or February, and so there's no real theme or anything going on, it's just kind of random little things I hate and wanted to rant about for a video. So let's get started, shall we? The first thing that I hate is TikTok ads, more specifically like TikTok supplement ads that fool you with the illusion that they're like some form of inspirational or dramatic story. I guess some could argue that that's actually great marketing because it gets people watching the video and as long as people are viewing it, I guess technically you're marketing the product. But let me tell you, I have never seen one of those videos and been like, you know what, now I'm going to buy this hair growth supplement. I've just seen those videos and let out a long sigh over the fact that now I just wasted more of my time in my life watching that because I was once again fooled into thinking that it was some sort of story with some sort of ending that I might enjoy. This one I screen recorded was back in January or February, but basically I was kind of confused by the story. Looking back at it now, I don't know how I ever like fell for it and thought that it was something, but it's this guy who I guess his daughter lost all of her hair, and so he's trying to grow out his hair so he can cut it off and donate it to her. I think that's what's going on. And it was something for his daughter who needed hair. Which, first of all, I don't think that's how wigs work. I don't think you literally just like grow out your hair and then chop it off and then that just makes one wig for one person. Whatever. Either way, his hair contributed to that. And it wasn't even like heavily disclosed that it was a sponsorship or anything, I believe. And then, of course, the last slide is this is how I did it with this supplement on Amazon or whatever. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. It's so irritating. And like, who's really going to buy that stuff? Who's going to believe it? Although I guess I somewhat believed it because I was gullible enough to slide through and see the story. Ads, honestly, in general, just piss me off, especially ads these days. I feel like when I was a kid, ads used to at least be somewhat like entertaining and like they'd actually get you to want to buy a product, but I feel like these days they're so random and weird. Although one ad I do think worked for what it was doing. I know it's different because like this was supplements and this is just like an ad for like Amazon Prime or whatever. This Amazon Prime back to school ad, where this girl gets hit by the board. I think it's dramatic enough that you're like, damn, and you kind of watch, and then the phone pops up, you see like her ad the Tylenol, and it's like promoting, Amazon Prime for back to school. I think that ad works. It's short to the point where it's like you're not, wasting too much time watching it. It's actually dramatic. It actually gets you watching and wondering. And I feel like it's actually good marketing. It's still kind of annoying to scroll upon on my feed, but it, doesn't completely piss me off. You know? And I just think people need to rethink ads in general these days because a lot of them are just somehow like weird. The next thing that I hate is weird baby names, or I guess specifically people who don't act like they're actually naming people who are going to grow up into adults in society, and people who only want to name their kids like after their own aesthetic or for their own viewpoint. And obviously, I'm not talking about like if you want to name your kids like Sarah and Sam or like something that flows well together and that's cute together. That's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. But one thing that made me want to write this when I wrote this on my things I hate list was Patrick Mahomes had a new child that he named Golden after his other two children were named Sterling and Bronze. And that just kind of got me thinking, like, I wonder if they would ever go up to resent the fact that they're all specifically named after like medals and stuff. I don't know. At the time I wrote this, also Rydell Funk had recently announced her newest child's name was Sugar Lover, um, in a group of other kids named Super Sweetie and Storm. And of course now, Trisha Paytas has announced that her newest child's name is Aquaman. And honestly, I'm just kind of irritated of these weird names that people are naming their kids. I do follow Trisha and I like Trisha, but the rest of these I don't really follow much like on their lives, so I can't like attest to their parenting skills or how they do. Um But just hearing the names is weird to me. And like some names are going to be humiliating as an adult. And obviously, no, we shouldn't teach our kids to bully people based off of their names, and we shouldn't bully people based off of their names. But also, you can't tell me if you were sifting through job applications or something, you wouldn't like do a double take and wonder if you stumbled across somebody named Aquaman, or if you stumbled across a boy named Superfunk. And it does make me wonder if the kids with these names would like grow up to resent these names as they get older. I guess like the Mahomes kids, the names aren't that unheard of, like separate, but like the combination of the three of them together, I don't know. It just feels weird to me when I feel like people are basing their kids' names off of like a specific aesthetic, or when they're specifically going off all the specific things that they like. And I think it's fine to be inspired by something, but I don't know. I feel like some people just take it too far and they disregard the fact that children are going to grow up to be adults who, I mean, I guess a lot of these are rich people, so their kids probably don't have to get like a real, not real, but they don't have to get like a, sit down job or a job like that. Um, but they just don't consider the fact like who their kids are going to be, or even people in like normal life who have to add like extra letters onto their names, like McKinley, or like they have to spell it a unique way. There's a fine line between being like unique and setting your kid up to resent their name for the rest of their life, or just having people be confused by their name for the rest of their life. And also, since I feel like somebody's going to tell me not to worry because they're just stage names for their kids, I mean, I guess that could be the case, but in most of these cases where people choose these unusual names, I don't think it is, especially if the parents are like using their real names online and they're showing the kids' faces through pictures or videos or whatnot. I feel like it's kind of useless to have a fake name because like all the other information's already there and you see them. So like what's the point of covering up their name at that point? You know what I mean? And also I feel like if you're going to go with a stage name, you might as well take the opportunity to make it even more unusual. Like if I ever had a kid, I think they would just be known online as Baby Croc or something. Obviously, the most important thing is that the child is loved and cared for. And like I said, I don't know much about the other people I use as examples, but it's clear seeing Trisha online that her kids are very much loved. And obviously, that's the most important thing. I just think people need to consider names a little more before we use them. The next thing that I hate is people who refuse to tell you where they get their clothes, especially like in an online setting. If it's an influencer or something, you're like, oh my god, I love your top. Where did you get it? And they're just like, oh, I don't know. I don't remember. I cut out the tags. Or like, it was so long ago, I don't remember. Or when they just use it to market themselves, like, oh, I have all my clothes that I wear linked in the description of my bio. Like, shut the fuck up. Just tell us you got the shirt from Shein and move on. I feel like a lot of times people just want to gatekeep their clothes or act like they're the only one who can wear an article of clothing. And like if someone sees a shirt that you're wearing online and wants to get the shirt, I don't think like you're really not going to stumble that many people like in your personal life that are wearing the same thing. Like just tell people where you get it and move on. God forbid a couple people in the world own the same article of clothing. And in some rare few cases, I get maybe it genuinely was thrifted or gifted and you don't know the origins of it, and that's fine, but then just admit that straight up and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, like this was a gift, I genuinely don't know where they got it. Or, oh, I thrifted this, it came without the tag, or it came like this, I genuinely don't know. That's better than just like being weird and mysterious about it. Like your clothing isn't that special, sweetheart. The only time I would ever hide it is if you specifically knew somebody in real life who was deliberately copying everything you do. But other than that, I feel like some people try way too hard to be unique and like edgy. Like just no one cares that much. Just tell us where you got the shirt. Somewhat similarly to this on the clothing theme, the next thing that I hate is people who bash outfit or like item repeaters. I have been an outfit repeater my whole life, and until I got like into high school, I never knew that that was like a bad thing or something that people like shame you for or make fun of you for. I always just assumed if an outfit made me happy and I felt comfortable wearing it and I liked it, that I should wear it multiple times. Like before school season started, I would go back to school shopping, pick out several outfits, and usually I wore them like as full outfits various times throughout the school year. Even in high school, I had like set outfits that I liked to wear, and I re-wore those same outfits frequently. And then I started getting small comments like, oh, you've worn that exact outfit a lot. Or I've heard other people like reference themselves like, oh, well, I already wore this outfit, so I don't want to wear it again. And then I kind of piece together like outfit repeating is something that people don't like. And I feel like it's weird to shame people or like make people feel bad for outfit repeating. And like, yeah, no shit, I'm repeating the outfit. I own the outfit. I like the clothes. And if I find something that works, I'm going to rewear it. Especially as someone who struggles with fashion and knowing what looks good on me, if I find something that I feel like works, fuck yeah, I'm going to redo it. I feel like even in my daily life now, I kind of like I wear different variations of the exact same outfit, and I have like a few like outfits. Like I feel like I'm a cartoon character. I have like a set of pajamas. I have like a main outfit or like a general idea of an outfit, and then like I have a fancy outfit, and I kind of just stick to the same things. I feel like it's just so wasteful to assume that everybody can just wear an outfit once and then discard it, even if it's donated or whatever. I feel like it's so wasteful to just assume that. And obviously, yeah, if you want to spice up your wardrobe or whatever, spice it up. If you want to take the out or a piece and like rewear it in different ways, by all means, like you do you. But I feel like we don't need to put down people for wearing the same outfit if they like it and it works for them. Just stop shaming outfit repeaters. It's not that deep. If you like an outfit, as long as you're wearing clean clothes, if you like it, you like it. Wear it time and time and time again. You do you. The next thing that I hate is when shows or movies don't tell you a character name or like have an introduction to a character. I've seen several different things where characters kind of just show up and you're left wondering who they are. One example immediately is the Wicked movie. The characters of Fanny and Chen Chen were never really introduced. And so if you're not familiar with the stage show or even the book, you're gonna be kind of like, who are they? Like, obviously, I knew that they were Fanny and Chen Chen, but for the longest time, I didn't even know which one was supposed to be which because they were never introduced, except in a cutscene where she's like, "Oh my God, Fanny, Chen Chen, whatever." Also, in Victorious, as I rewatched, I realized that Sinjin wasn't really ever introduced. One day, they're just like, "Oh, Sinjin," and it's like, okay. I feel like shows constantly switch up between like no clarification between who someone is and too much. Like every Disney Channel original movie, I swear they like really have to drive home the point that this is their father. Like they're like, "Oh, dad." Like we don't need to take it that far. Like sometimes show don't tell is better. Like we can piece together that that grown man who lives in the same house as you is your father. But also sometimes I feel like we do need to bring in introductions because you're left like confused and wondering who someone is for the entirety of a movie or show. I mean, I obviously don't think we need to come forward straight up with, "This is Linda, she's my bestie, I've known her since we were 10 years old." Or, "Hey Linda, I know you've been my best friend since we were like we can cut out lines like that that give too much information, but we can still have introductory lines, if that makes sense. Like, we shouldn't leave it to Googling the cast after you see a vaguely familiar face and want to know where they're from to discover that the character you saw in the show's name was actually Linda. You know what I mean? It's just irritating to me. Next up on the show topic, another thing I hate is when shows have an episode that is primarily just like a flashback episode that just re-shows clips that have already been used in the show. Two examples I can think of are Full House during the episode where Michelle had her 5th birthday and Becky's twins were born. The first part of the episode where we were talking about Michelle's birthday was literally just so many flashbacks of Michelle's past. And it's like, we've already seen all this. We don't need to see a recap of the show with the exact same clips that you already used. Or on an episode of The Nanny called Where's Fran, when Fran quits, the entire episode was basically just flashbacks of her interactions with the other characters. And I get that these examples are from like the 90s, where people got like an episode a week and like a new season every year or whatever, and couldn't just like binge the show in an entire day, but still is like an entire like flashback of things that have already happened on the show necessary. Or this is even true in like some movies and stuff, like more so once again I'm referencing Disney movies, like when there's a song and you have to re-show events that literally just happened later on in the movie. Like, why are we using flashbacks instead of like taking new footage or different footage or something, you know? It's just weird to me, and I think it's really weird to base an entire episode off flashbacks, and I don't know why shows do this. I don't know if it's just to remind you of moments that you loved, but I just feel like the episode is so bad if it's literally just like a recap episode. This next thing that I hate is more oddly specific, but I hate people who just genuinely like don't mind their own business and like they get, you know. So even not being a large influencer, something that I've learned through my time online is that some hate comments are just genuinely so stupid, and it's like, why did you waste your time commenting this? And it's genuinely not worth my time getting hurt by some of these stupid comments. I had posted this video that was originally a TikTok to my, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and it's a trend that I'd seen on TikTok that's like, guess who's pregnant from high school now? And then it reveals a pregnancy. I did this with my friend Caitlin, and I got a comment saying, may I remind you that sex before marriage is a sin. Which, mind you, this person doesn't know us and they don't know Caitlin's marital status. So, like, they don't mind their own business. Like, what's it to you, genuinely? But also, why are you assuming things? And so, I commented back because why would I just ignore that? And I'm like, what makes you assume she isn't married? And then this had to be a child. They clapped back, well, she's in freaking high school. The video said you can't legally be married before 18, which is another thing I hate. People who just always assume that they're right on any terms. Um, which technically, first of all, we technically could have like just turned 18 and then gone on to our senior year. Like she could have turned 18, got married, go on to your senior year. Like technically that's possible. Also, I'm like 90% sure you can get married younger with parental consent. So technically she could have. Also, we are not like under 18, which is the biggest flaw in their logic here, which I once again replied to them. I'm like, it's about people from our graduating class, not people in high school. We're over 18. And their response was, sorry, but you could have mentioned that. Like you're not gonna go off on me. Like what? At that point, just like take your loss, boo boo. Your hate comment didn't work the way you wanted it to. You thought you ate, and you didn't. Like just stop, stop. And also another thing that I hate would be, people with religion using that to bash people. Like if you think we're sinning, let us sin in peace, okay? You're not going to hell by association. I think. That is going to be all for this video and this installment of things I hate. Of course, you can let me know your opinions on these things that I hate. And I'll see y'all in my next video.